This is the animals I could be in a fight tier list, starting off with the lobster. I think that a lobster is pretty small, pretty manageable, but it does have those very lethal claws, so I think I would win. I think I would win, but it would be a close one. They would probably peck me a lot. I'd probably be very scared. So I think this is a decent rating. Next is a zebra. A zebra is much larger. It has stripes. It's very cute looking. It has hooves though, so I'd probably lose because they're basically like horses. Or like they're a little bit like horses. I feel like it would just like turn around and like kick me with its hind legs. So I would definitely lose. I'd get torn to shreds. Or I'd be too scared. Nah, I'd get torn to shreds. I'd get a few hits in, but I would lose. I feel like that's the most accurate. I feel like I would get a few hits in, and then I would just yeah. A mouse. Oh, a mouse. Definitely, I would win. They would get a few hits in though. They would probably bite me a lot, so it would hurt. But ultimately, I would win. I would win. Now, I believe this is a deer. I would not win. I would not win. Because look at those horns on its head. There's just no way. There's just no way I would win. I'd get torn to shreds. I'd get torn to shreds. I would get shredded. Just horrible. And this is either a chameleon or a lizard. I'm not sure. If I stumbled upon it in the wild, I don't know. Is it like poisonous? Is it just normal? Is it like what kind of lizard is that? I can't really. Hold on. Let me just zoom in real quick. It looks to be. I feel like it's a chameleon. It has these little stripes on its tail, which is terrifying because it's giving the vibe of something poisonous. So I would say that this belongs 50-50 chance. If it's poisonous, if it's poisonous, then I would lose. If it is not, I would definitely win. Next is a squid. So a squid, I'd be too scared. I would be too scared. That is disgusting. That's just horrible. Like just look at those tentacles. I feel like it would just like ugh. Don't they have like a mouth like here? I think. That's terrifying. I would not want to fight that. Also, if it's underwater, I'm not trying to get into a fight underwater. If I could like pull it on a boat or I could drag it out into the sand or something, like next to a shore, then sure, I would win. A bear, I'd get torn to shreds. I would probably try to hug the bear, and then I would just get clawed to death. That is very easy, because look at this adorable face. Like, it's so cute. Why on earth would I want to attack it? And that is probably why they are one of the most lethal predators. I'm pretty sure this adorable face is some kind of evolutionary, like, result, because why are they so cute? Next, a hippo. I would not fight a hippo. I would not fight a hippo. I would not. There's just no shot. They're so much bigger. They're heavier. They have the huge mouths. Just no. With the oh no, I can't even imagine. No, that would just be very gruesome. A turtle. I would win. I would very easily win. But would I want to? No. They wouldn't even get a few hits in. They would just. I feel so bad. I really think they would just lose. How do they even survive? I even know enough about turtles? Because how do they even survive? They have such like sloppy, like floppy arms and legs, and they just don't really have teeth. They just have a shell. So no, I would definitely win. I would easily destroy. Easily destroy. A tiger. Very cute. Same reason. Too strong. Too cute. Strong and cute. Just adorable. Its teeth are lethal. It's one of the most dangerous predators that you can come across in the jungle. So, yeah. But I do think I would get a few hits in. I do think I would get a few hits in. I would get a few hits in, but I would lose. I think so. Next is a wolf. Um, very, very adorable. I would get torn to shreds. I wouldn't even get a few hits in. I would just no. I'd get bitten once and just collapse and bleed out. Like there's just no way. Who would win against a wolf? No one. The only way you'd win is by befriending the wolf, which I'm pretty sure they did back in the day to avoid getting torn to shreds and eaten by wolves because they're just like strength wise just superior. A parrot. I would eat that parrot up. I would eat it up. It's just easy to destroy. Could be cooked. Could be cooked. Would have its legs as drumsticks. Just the whole shebang. Very easy. Very easily destroy. But it would peck me. It would peck me though. So I can't really say that I would easily destroy it because this actually could fight back. It could flap its wings, it could peck me viciously. So I'll keep it there. Next is a. That's not even an alligator. What is that? What is this? I can't even. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's like a more advanced version of an alligator. Okay, I'm too scared. I'm too scared to fight that. Too very large. I don't. Looks like it has a big mouth with like teeth and stuff. So I'd just be too scared to fight. I would run away because I don't even know what that creature is. I don't have enough information to be able to fight that in the wild in dire circumstances. Next, the lion. I would get torn to shreds easily. Like you can't. But I feel like I would get a few hits in from the side. You know, like here and there, just a couple of hits in. Ultimately, I would lose very easily because the strength of lions is just there's no debate. A full grown bodybuilder probably couldn't fight the lion. I feel like maybe the strongest person in the world could, but it would be rough to watch. Next is a falcon. Falcons are dangerous, but not to me. Not to me. Not to me. They would peck me once again, probably. Their claws could hurt, but besides that, they have wings. Like, I'm not too concerned with that. I feel like I would survive. But if it was like a swarm of them, I would not. I honestly feel like I would be threatened. So they would get a few hits in, but ultimately I would win. Next is a rhino. Now, I'm not messing around with a rhino. I would get torn to shreds or I'd get a few hits in but I would lose. I would like to think I would get a few hits in, but my hits just wouldn't be very effective. Type deal. I would get a few hits in though. I would. Because it's not like they can well I'd from the side, you know, right hook, left hook. Just I'd do my best to struggle and then probably run away, but yeah. If I encounter a rhino, I'm not I'm not doing that. Maybe if I had a hunting group, we could take it down, but solo? No. I would not beat a rhino in a fight. Next is a bird. Birds, I'm sorry, but birds are just so weak. This bird, I don't even think this bird would get a few hits in. They wouldn't be particularly effective. They could peck me, but I don't think it would hurt. Like look how small that beak is. But yeah. Next is a panda. I don't even want to fight a panda, but they are so like powerful. Like they're actually very strong. So shockingly, I would get torn to shreds. I would. I'd really get torn to shreds. They're basically like bears. They're like be for real. I'm not winning against a panda. And I wouldn't want to. They're too cute. Next is I don't know what even is the name of this? I've seen it before. I've seen it before in like Ice Age, but I don't know the name. So this, I think I would, I don't know. It would be a close one, but I do think I would win. I do think I would win because it's just small. It's like it reminds me a bit of like a cross between a rat and a raccoon. So yeah, it's not really much of a threat. But yeah, I would win. I would win. Next a gorilla. I don't even need to explain this one. If it's a gorilla, a whole gorilla, like come on. Come on. There's just no debate. There's no debate. The gorilla would destroy me in an instant. Like there's no I'm not even gonna talk about that. Next, I think this is a chimpanzee or an ape. But same deal. Kind of. I mean, the gorillas have more muscle on them, but it's still very lethal. I would get a few hits in though. I would get a few hits in. Whereas here, the gorilla would just knock me out in one hit. So yeah, but this they have smaller bodies. This I believe. What is this? Is this? Like, what is this? It looks a bit like a kangaroo, but it's not standing the way a kangaroo should. Yeah, I don't know what this one is. It's just cut. The picture is too cut off. But yeah, next, a shark. A shark. It's possible. It is possible. If I had like a spear, if I had a spear, I could get a few hits in. But ultimately, I feel like there's just shark attacks. They just bite. Unless I could dodge it really well or like grab its face and redirect it and like push it out of the way. But yeah, generally speaking, I don't think I would be a shark in a fight. So next is an elephant. An elephant. Imagine fighting an elephant. No. It's just I don't even know how do hunters get the tusks and stuff. How did they get them in the olden days? I don't know. But yeah, I'm not fighting an elephant. An elephant, I'm gonna take one look at that elephant and I'm running because it could just stomp on me and just like it's over. No, that's not possible. That's just no, not worth discussing. Next is a snake. A snake, 50-50 chance once again because it could be poisonous. We don't know. I don't know what type of snake this is. I don't study that. I don't know what that is. It's just there. So yeah, the only leverage that they have is poison. So next is a starfish. Now, a starfish. I feel like I would obviously win because they can't really fight back. I would easily destroy. And I don't think the poisonous starfish exist. So if it is poisonous, it would be here, but I don't think that exists. Last I checked. But yeah, so I would easily destroy it because, like, hello, it's a starfish. But the problem is with starfish is that if I cut off one of its legs, it will regrow and regrow and regrow. So, in that sense, the fact their limbs can grow back is a bit threatening, but because my limbs wouldn't be able to do that. But um, generally speaking, I do think I stand kind of a chance against a starfish. So, next is an alligator. An alligator, they actually move faster than you would expect. Like I've seen videos, they move a lot faster than you would expect. So I don't think that I would win against the alligator. I think it would just open its mouth and snap it shut on me. So if I found a way to like, like in the cartoons when they put a twig between the alligator's mouth so it just stays open and they can't close it. If I managed to pull that off, I think I stand a pretty good chance. So I think it would be a close one, but I'd lose. Like if I had the right strategy to go about that, because I could just like stab it in the head, like, and that it would just be knocked out. So if there was a really really difficult situation, that would be my advantage. And yeah, it's nice that they can't actually stand up on their hind legs and face me because that would be really really threatening. but they are just flat on the ground, so it shouldn't be too bad. And next is a horse. Now a horse would kick my butt. It would. I don't even think I would get a hit. I wouldn't even get a hit. I'm gonna be so real. A horse would kick me so hard and it would just kill me, like just instantly. Like those just hind legs, just one kick to the head and you're done. You're done. Internal bleeding, brain hemorrhage, just done. Just done. Goodbye. Life is over. Just no. Just a horse is scary. And considering the fact that I've ridden horses and I've never particularly been scared of them, I am kind of surprising myself. But next, moving on, is a cheetah. So a cheetah would be the same type of deal with the rest of the big cats. I would get a few hits in, but I would lose. Probably it would bite me, and then I'd get some hits in, but I would not survive because they would rip me. Honestly, torn to shreds. All these big cats could also be torn to shreds. Like they would tear me to shreds. Type deal. But yeah. A clownfish. A clownfish. A clownfish. Really? 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 They would not even be able to hit me. They wouldn't even use their little fins. They could just eat it in my mouth in one go. Just pick it up and just put it in my mouth. Just like, this is not even worth discussing. It's just a clown, like a clown. Really? Like Nemo, you really trying to square up? Unbelievable, unbelievable. Anyways, a cat. I I would never fight a cat. Okay, not these cute little cutie patooties. But that applies to a lot of these. Like these. Like a parrot, I wouldn't fight that. I wouldn't fight a turtle. I wouldn't eat a clownfish. I wouldn't actually eat a clownfish, but a cat, if I'm being realistic, from a wilderness perspective, if that cat was out to get me, would it succeed? No, it wouldn't. It's a domestic cat. They are not scary. They are not threatening. So they would get a few hits in. They would get a lot of scratches in. They would bite a lot, but they are not enough to kill the average individual, such as myself. And that is why we have them as pets. This is why we have these creatures as pets, because they would not kill us. Like, are you noticing a correlation where these are much more easy to domesticate compared to these? But to be fair, a lot of people domesticate snakes and chameleons, lizards. I don't know. Anyways, moving on. An octopus. You wouldn't think an octopus is that threatening because like the tentacles are pretty thin, but they are actually pretty lethal because they are hunters, okay? They are hunters. So I would be scared to fight them. Like just I don't know what they're gonna like. Same with squid. Like I think they have their mouths in there. It's just terrifying. Just I don't. If I saw that, I would just be so grossed out. I would just not want to. And once again, it's underwater. Like I'm not fighting anything underwater besides a shark if I had to. I feel like you could just push its jaws out of the way. Obviously that's not really how it works, but yeah. I've seen that. I've seen it when you can push the jaws out of the way, but they have a bunch of tentacles. What are you going to do with that? So you push one out of the way, another one comes at you. Like you're not going to get away. So yeah, I'd be too scared to fight it. Next is a crab. Would I win against a crab? Yes, I would. But they would definitely get a few hits in. They would definitely get a few hits in because they are like look at those claws. It would hurt, but not too much. It'd be like a scratch. It'd really be just like a cat. Just a scratch. Just a little itty bitty scratch. So yeah. Yeah. A dog. See about this dog looks unintimidating, but there are some dogs which I would not fight. I would no, I honestly it depends on the dog. It depends on the dog. So 50-50. Like if it's a rabid big dog, like I don't know, like a pit bull, I'm not winning. But if it's like a chihuahua, I would win. I wouldn't want to, but I would win. A peacock. They are actually, I believe they're more aggressive than you would expect. And also, the feathers would be pretty intimidating, so it would be pretty close. And they are quite large, but yeah, it would be close. It would be a close one, but I would win. Ultimately, I would win. And I feel like what they would use is they'd use their feathers, as kind of a surprise factor. And so yeah, it would be pretty scary, pretty damn scary. So I would avoid it if I could. But if a peacock was to run at me with bloodthirsty eyes, I would ultimately win, but it would be close. So next is a sheep. Sheep are so adorable, but they do scare me. They do scare me, and I honestly, I would lose. I would lose. I feel like I would get hits in. I'd get a couple of hits in. I would run away for a short period of time. Um, if I had like a spear, then yeah. Like if I was like a hunter, like a primal hunter who's adapted to the wilderness, then yeah, sure, I would win against the sheep. But in this situation, I don't think I would. I don't. If it was just me alone with a spear, I don't think I would. It would be really difficult. So next is a swan. A swan is majestic, majestic creatures. I wouldn't even want to hurt. I would not want to hurt a swan. But let's see. Um, yeah, I feel like they are more aggressive than I give them credit for. Like they look very beautiful and majestic and just gorgeous, but they are very aggressive. They can be very aggressive. So it would be the same deal as a peacock. I feel like they're quite large. I don't know what they're capable of. Who knows what they're hiding? Like under like those legs. Who knows what power they're hiding under in like who knows? So it would be close, but I would ultimately win.